Hi, Jane Rodriguez here, and I got disrupted with my old video, but I was saying, yes, there's a hurricane. There's two of them, and this one, Irma, is a level 5, and of course I feel awful for the people affected. But then again, you know that there's a thing called HARP, that it heats up the ionosphere, that it can and does create storms, direct storms. I read when I was in college a declassified CIA document that disclosed that with weather control modification technology of the 1960s, they flooded the Ho Chi Minh Trail in Vietnam. So they seeded clouds and they caused it to rain. We know that they do things like CERN, and they admit that they're looking for demonic entities to bring to the other side, and we know that they purposefully gave black men syphilis to death over and over again. We know that they radiate orphans to death. We know that 20 million plus babies have been aborted and killed and used as birth control by pigs. We know that we allow this to happen in our nation that was once virtuous, had honor, but now our country looks at virtue, honor, strength, holiness, goodness, love, innocence, logic, reason as an enemy. So we will tolerate a storm being generated and made stronger. I mean, remember the skull storm last year? We're going to sit here and we're going to take it and we're going to like it because that's what we've become. I wrote this on my wall today. I said that I loved God's wrath. Fear and love the Lord your God. The kind of fear is appropriate to the Creator of all being, to the Holy One, the spotless and blameless one, the one who died on the cross for us to take upon himself the sins of the world so that we swine could sit one day on the right side of him and judge even the angels. Yeah, we have allowed the Constitution and the Bill of Rights to be used like toilet paper by people who hate the Constitution and Bill of Rights and hate us and hate all those things that I said were good that even made this country what it is in the first place. Logic, reason, goodness, purity, valor, bravery, honor, innocence, love, truth, freedom, all those things. You have been co-opted and convinced that are bad and you like it. So I love God's wrath. I really do. I'm not sorry either. So whatever. Repent. 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 And admit that you messed up. Or it's going to keep on happening even worse. And that's what you get. And I'm glad, to be honest. Anyway. Yeah. Okay, so there's portals that are made by fallen angels all over the earth that are access points that our ancient Indian friends knew existed, our ancient Babylonian friends, etc. You'll turn on Ancient Aliens and they will kind of give you a little idea of what it is, but they won't tell you the complete truth, really, not really. But those angels created them on the power grid points. I forget what ley lines, you know, the real powerful. They're all over the planet. I know you know of them by now because it's only been in pop culture for about 15 years. So the angels did that for people who wanted to practice witchcraft, and the fallen angels in the Book of Enoch described how they taught women witchcraft. And witchcraft basically is my ability, your ability to contact the spirit world. And it's basically giving up. It's basically bypassing God and having faith and waiting on him to answer your needs and doing it in your own right and power. So like you will bypass that and go directly to the spirit world and ask them to do you favors and teach you things and do stuff for you, basically. So the fallen angels did teach women how to do that. And again, it all goes down to pride again, because you don't need God. You just need to do it yourself. So those stargates are things that the angels said, hey, you know, we can come to you and we'll rule you and we'll give you high technology and we'll teach you how to be the greatest conquering nation in all the planet. And they do that. They come through and deliver their promises, but it always ends in destruction of innocence, virtue, love, and complete full-scale dominance of a people. It's always a lie. Read the Old Testament. My mom's here right now. I know she can hear me, but she was telling me about the book of Joshua. well, it's just the Old Testament over and over again. God says, "You do it my way," to the kings and rulers of the nations, to the progenitors of the Jewish faith and nation, to everybody. He says, "Do it my way. Follow it precisely, exactly to the letter, or you're gonna pay the price." And when people do think that they can like not listen, that's when they pay the price. So portals, okay. So an angel can make them and tell you where they are fallen angels. That's like old. That time has passed, but it's coming back again. But or as a witch, you can do it. Perform your rituals over and over again in one location and open up one. And that happens. Like on Brent and Samhain's, one of my favorite episodes is where the woman saw in the water tower the huge main demon, fallen angel. I would describe him with wings and his little minions dancing around in a circle. And then she later found out that that is the site of a repeated ritual voodoo. So it's real. I mean, it's true, right? Okay. So within the, obviously our nation is wicked. It does wicked things. It likes it. And then the people do nothing, right? So here's what we got today. But there's been a resistance within the government, a group of Christians who obviously know about all the occultism going on, all the lies and stuff, and they are the resistance to it. And their name is called the Collins Elite. Now, whether or not they truly exist, that is kind of controversial, but Nick Redfern, a friend of mine actually, he kind of broke this concept when he wrote the Collins. Wow, this is impressive, Nick. The Collins Elite Theocratic Surveillance State versus Demonic Entities. So I can see how this would be a co-opted Republican thing, theocratic surveillance state. That's kind of how the George Bush era, the George W. Bush, or no, the one that started the 9/11 George Bush, who used 9/11 as a pretext to invade us and spy on us. My computer, of course, is about to die, so I'm going to have to make a part 2 of this. But Collins Elite, keep that under your hat, and then I'll be right back and do a part 2. Okay, bye.